What's good, family? All high frequency beings, thanks for tapping in once again. This video is going to be a carryover and more elaboration on a video I posted on TikTok not too long ago. And I will be posting a video to this channel soon as far as my moon versus sun synopsis of how this sun and moon system actually works in regards to and in lieu of what we was taught through grade school. It's a malevolent system that manipulates electrons and photon light. It comes from our true black sun, filtering it in a sense so that malevolent entities can walk amongst us, seen and unseen. But this video is just going to be more like an update of recent things that have been transpiring, what's been happening. I have before me a notepad with just little, things I've jotted down to keep me on track. First thing I'll mention is many of us have been aware of these ramped up chemtrails and low frequency tactics that they've been deploying lately as the frequencies are significantly rising. We have a solar maximum that we'll be approaching in January and February, and solar maximum is when the sun reaches its highest peak of power, um, relatively for the next 4,000 years speaking. Every 4,000 years, many of us that study esoteric knowledge are aware of a new age comes into play. We are aware of the age of Aquarius and the age of Pisces, and as these ages come into play, many things change. Many things change throughout the cosmos and with celestial bodies all around us. That brings in significant higher frequencies in this realm that changes things as far as us, our knowledge, and the way we think, the way we perceive things. This is known as the awakening, and many of us melanated people know that our DEA will be transforming deoxy nucleic deoxy etheric acid. I don't use the ribo part because that model that with the ribs that we are informed about, that's just a kind of a visual representation that they give us to have an idea. Nobody knows what DNA looks like. It really has no structure. It's a form of light crystallized in our blood. But that's something else I can talk about in another video. I put this to stay on track here. So many of the chemtrails that they've been deploying are in regards to this false sky that we've been conceived to believe is our actual sky. In a lot of the old photos, people are starting to notice in our ancient photos that they repainted what was supposed to be the sky. Because in our sky, there's multiple suns, there's multiple moons, real moons that we have, and you can see a lot more than what we see in as far as planets and stuff like that. And with this signetic geomagnetic energy that is entering our realm, our sky changes colors all the time, beautiful colors. As much as a rainbow has colors in it, you won't see a rainbow, but you might see like pink sky one day, green sky the next day, red sky, just based on the energies that's coming in from these geomagnetic storms and that our black sun will display. A lot of the low frequency tactics that they display, besides the chemtrails they use to see clouds and, like I said, uphold this false sky, and sometimes even alter our bioelectric fields, causing us to feel sick and things like that. I have a saying I've been saying for a while. It doesn't smell like outside. Like people say it smells like outside. It doesn't smell like outside. It smells like chemicals. That's a saying I've been saying for like 2 or 3 years now. But besides the chemtrails, they have lots of low frequency tactics. They have devices that move amongst us that we perceive as animals, much like they have synthetic robot humans. One of the most popular devices will be the crow. The crows we see, like I come outside sometime when I've been meditating and stuff like that, and I feel these low frequencies trying to boggle me down. And like a week ago, I came outside and I looked around, and it was like 9, no lie, That's one thing I don't do. None of us should do. But it was 9 to 12 birds. I counted them as they was flying away. I counted like 11, and they were still flying away. And one in particular stayed there a bit relentless. You know what I'm saying? And these crows could also be avatars for malevolent beings, as well as CGI. Well, not CGI, but AI that's controlling them. Another thing they do for they emit low frequencies is the police sirens. The police sirens. Those sirens, if you've ever been around one where you was vibing high, you felt a bit disrespected as the way it hit you, and it really like come at you and boggle you down when you vibing real high. That's another thing they use. Like a lot of us know in our melanated neighborhoods, they would turn on these sirens and drive through for no reason. We thought it to be disrespectful to wake us up, but now they are to emit lower frequencies. And just the police presence in general, even the train noises, like trains will come through real late at night and wake us up. And speaking of them trying to wake us up, that's significant because of things that's going on in the astral. But before I get to these astral attacks, with all the low frequency tactics that they do, you should never be discouraged. You should never be discouraged because you got to look at this with a perspective that they're working this hard, this often around the clock to try to stop what's happening right now. Whereas, they used to could, you know, with this malevolent 1 hour time synopsis to give them more time to do their nefarious things in the absence of the sun. They used to, do this maybe till like November, and it would be a simulated cold winter for the rest of the year pretty much. But now they have to work every day to do this. They can't take a day off. Like I know the other day it was planes flying. Like matter of fact, when you see the old bombers, the old like big B-52 bombers with that circle on the back, that's a radar plane. They call it radar plane. What that circle actually do is it emits low frequencies, like in a big a higher magnitude and with a bigger radius. Now the jets they also emit low frequencies that pretty much helps bring the cold air back. If you ever notice, when you chilling and it's getting warm, and some jets fly by, the wind starts blowing really hard. And these jets, another thing is they used to come in singles. Now these jets are having to do it in twos. Even the chemtrails, if you look up around 3, 4 o'clock when it's time for it to get dark, because like I said, the night sky is fake. It's a part of this fake sky system they use. It's pretty much a green screen. And some of the chemtrails they spray is the same chemicals that's in our televisions. But that's another video. I'm gonna stay on track. But if you look up sometime around between 3 and 5 o'clock, you see 9 and 15. I'm gonna call them planes for now, flying chemtrails. While getting that another time too. At another time too. Now to the astral attacks. There's a lot of malevolent attacks happening in the astral by melanated beings. Usually people you know. You know what I'm saying? And what they'll do is like alkaline vegan. That's the blueprint. That's an electrical diet for electrical beings. It'll empower you and all kinds of things like that. And it's been scientifically proven for decades that a plant-based diet heightens your intuition. And what intuition, quote unquote, really is, that's your spiritual sensors and your pineal gland. A lot of green foods they help decalcify your pineal gland in general. A lot of processed foods calcify it. So we should all be striving to be on an alkaline vegan diet. But with that being said, these malevolent astral attacks, where like these melanated beings, which are usually people we know, like I said, they'll try to like force us to eat some meat or some processed food, something we don't eat, like might be like a Debbie cake or honey bun, or like they try to get us to smoke some weed or drink some liquor. And when you wake up, you'll notice like if you're fasting, or like you should be intermittent fasting as well. I'm gonna do a video about fasting and herbs soon too, but you should be if you're fasting and you wake up and something like this has happened and you can vaguely recall it, you realize like you gotta poop. Like, it'd be a big poop and you ain't ate nothing. that's, from this astral attack. A lot of people will try to tell you, oh, you can do what you want in the astral realm, and it doesn't play a role. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's why if you come to your senses now, they do something, to us to make us oblivious of when these things happen, because of course, if we're conscious, and we are growing in consciousness in the astral realm and awareness, that's a part of this awakening process. We're returning to the astral realm as well as this realm, because the astral realm is pretty much the fourth dimension, right? And um, the fourth dimension is where we kind of like quote unquote manifest by envisioning things, or creating them in that space. And then our brain works like we are repetitive with our manifestations. Our brain takes these visions and it makes them happen in this dimension. So that's one of the big reasons they don't want us becoming conscious in the astral realm. I have a video on my TikTok, and there's a link in my YouTube bio about things to do to empower yourself etherically before entering the astral realm, so you're at your optimum performance. And it's basically, like I said, the alkaline vegan diet, not eating 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep, so your physical body isn't processing food, keeping your etherical body attached to it. And as long as your etherical body is attached to your physical body while your physical avatar is resting, it's almost impossible to astral travel. I know some people like to coincide marijuana and cannabis with spiritual experiences. Unfortunately, that's not true. Marijuana will make you it'll make you absent of REM sleep. That's rapid eye movement, because it naturally relaxes you to a point, into a state where your eyes they flutter like a projector and display what's going on in the astral realm, what your etheric body is going through. And marijuana, it prevents that. So just three big things, but I'll get into that at another time. Gotta stay on track. So, these astral attacks where they, convince us to eat food or smoke or drink liquor, really in an oblivious state. These are usually people you know, because it's people because in a sense, that's their way of saying, well, you agree to this because you quote unquote know this person, you agree to be friends with this person, in in the third dimension. So we allowed to do this. Like I said, they have to have permission. They always have to have permission. You can also state mantras and affirmations using universal law before you lay down to rest your avatar. Whereas even if they do these things, they'll be punished. Like you could just say, by exercising my right of universal law, I am in no agreement in any dimensional reality to partake in any activities that will extract body fluid from my physical avatar in the third dimension, nor will I eat, drink, or smoke, or anything that will also harm my physical avatar in the third dimension. And then you could just, after you say that, you say Ashe, and say any malevolent entity, deity, being, person, whatever, that breaks this law shall be punished to the maximum extent by my ancestors. Or if you want to just lay down a punishment, that's up to you. But that helps. But like I said, usually these people that go out and take out these astral attacks on you and influence you to do these things, like I said, they're people because that's their way of saying you agree to this. It might be people from high school, it might be family members, it could even be your significant other. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get into that stuff too later. But even though all this stuff happens, we are multi-dimensional beings at all times. But basically, what I'm saying is, like, even if you get attacked, right, on a lower level of the astral realm or a lower plane, however you refer to these levels in the astral realm, even if you are attacked, you're multi-dimensional. So elsewhere, you're still going to be getting the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's why we meditate to get this knowledge, because it's in us. You know what I'm saying? It's always in us. Anything you want to know, you write it down, or you say, that's something I want to become aware of. You're gonna get it. It's gonna happen. Like sometimes you might jot down stuff, and no sooner than you get up to go about your business, things start like clicking in your brain. That's a clear sign of you being multi-dimensional, meaning You getting that knowledge in another dimension. Why are you walking around in this dimension? That's why you're hearing it, because you somewhere getting it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you asked for. So, don't get discouraged when you get attacked by these astral attacks like that. Personal love, like most of the time right now, it's gonna be a setup. You know what I'm saying? Like love is beautiful. We all like to have somebody around, but at this point in time, a lot of our significant others or people that try to come amongst us, like they'll even play a conscious role to try to get close to you and kind of hurt you in a way, and they'll distract you a lot. They'll definitely distract you and things of that nature. So, I mean, that's not something you should be out here looking for, because that'll become a distraction in itself too. It'll put you in low frequencies. So, you can't be out here like being desperate or thinking like love is the goal right now. Because well, not unfortunately, but fortunately, I'm glad to tell you that's not a goal right now. It's not something you're looking forward to. When we get where we're going, trust me, be a lot of time for that, all that type stuff. But right now, you want to focus on this ascension process. You want to focus on your energies, and you want to focus on where you're headed. And like I said, like adhering to a vegan alkaline diet. Make sure you meditate every day. Getting out in nature and in the sun. Taking care of your personal missions and priorities, whatever they may be, that you need to do that, clairvoyantly, or, things you might just be aware of that you need to do. Those are the type of things you need to be focusing on. You know what I'm saying? Maybe certain books you've been led to read with knowledge that's in there for you, or that knowledge you might need to convey as well. So those are the type of things you should be focused on right now. Rather, am I gonna find a lover? This, that, and the third. And with that being said, the only way you attract that type of love is becoming the love that you seek anyway. So looking for it is only gonna, make it not happen. You know, just universal laws and karmic laws and laws of attraction. You don't go looking for nothing. You become it, and it finds you naturally. A lot of earthquakes and volcanoes are very prevalent right now. With Iceland being the most significant one they're keeping an eye on, and that will happen soon, and that will change things throughout this realm. Uh, you know, Vary a lot. I mean, Iceland is pretty much it's at the top of a large underwater volcano. That whole country, whatever, that's sitting on top of a volcano. So, I mean, we all got enough common sense to know what that means. And that's not the only one though. You got Hawaii, you got Japan, you got Italy. The Ring of Fire um, is a significant, and a lot of this stuff is transpiring because Nibiru is very close. That ring we see around the sun is actually the shadow of Nibiru approaching. As you know, it's getting bigger and bigger as Nibiru gets closer and closer. That ring that's behind the sun that they like to spray and try to hide a lot. And Nibiru's force field is playing a big part in what we perceive as gravity on this plane, which is actually a magnetic force that was a malevolently and a nefarious tactic used to displace water. It's a lot of significant cities underwater that really don't belong there. Just like this island is emerging from the Japan volcano. A lot of that's going to be happening, as well as Atlantis rising off the coast of Tamiri, what they call a Bermuda Triangle. It's underwater. Some of us have seen these structures on National Geographic documentaries and stuff. That stuff is going to rise, much like this island arose out of the ocean in Japan from a volcano. As Nibiru gets closer, this plane is going to take on its original form. A lot of the deserts, like a lot of deserts, are flooding, turning into oceans. Water's being displaced. The rivers are drying up. That's in sacred religious texts and stuff like that, and things of that nature. So as Nibiru gets closer, a lot of things in this realm are going to change, not to what we think is wrong, but to their original state. Just as the poles will flip and really complete a lot of this stuff, pretty much getting rid of this malevolent magnetic force that has been trapping us, from using a lot of our natural abilities as well as taking flight. Something interesting to make note of, and you could do your own research, is that spiders, when they make their webs, they quote unquote take flight by adjusting and reversing the polarity of their bodies. And that's just a sense of what this reversal of the poles will do for a lot of things in this realm. As far as weight, like I said, taking flight, the way water is displaced. Some water doesn't even really belong here. A lot of water is not gonna get too much into this. Is frozen up, and like we know, there's land beyond Antarctica, and this water will disperse itself. These are the primordial lands, the center of things that we know where we are at in this realm. But that's another story. And a lot of theories I've had. I'll mention this one. As far as the Ring of Fire and the new landmasses emerging, it gives me significant vibes of Agartha and Middle Earth. You know what I'm saying? Possibly opening up upon the Bureau's arrival, as well as the land beyond the Arctic walls being exposed, and many other things of that nature. Like I said, that's a theory. I did have a theory that they shot our real moon, um, blasted our real moon away. Some popular spiritual teachers have talked about this. They blasted one of our suns away. It's really back now, and they're trying to hide it behind the green screen. But this sun is becoming just as much powerful as this multi-dimensional transformer we know as our sun. Like I say, it's a filter. I'll explain that more in my next video. But this sun is being noticed throughout certain areas of the realm because they're more focused on keeping more populated areas covered with this green screen in the sky than others. That's why you may see videos in different areas of different things. And I'm not gonna get into this, but the ETs that hacked our sun, the only people that really made a deal with these ETs was our government here in Tamiri. But I'm gonna get into that in the next video. That's why a lot of other countries are seeing stuff and noticing things, and we aren't, because they're kind of free from things we aren't free from because of things our government did. But like I said, Nibiru's force field and the force of its force field is playing a big part in overcoming this plane's quote unquote gravity, as many things are rising from the ocean. The tectonic plates are rearranging themselves, causing earthquakes and volcanoes. Another thing we should be mindful of is there's a lot of archons that's focused on our history right now. They just repetitively talking about our history, pulling new knowledge about it. Oh, the government made this, that. Okay, look, it's cool to know our history, right? It's cool to know all that stuff. But I mean, how many times do you need to be told we the real Jews, we the real Indians, we rule the world, blah blah blah? You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we heard that more than enough, most of us by now, and we have to focus on the present because these people are trying to keep us in the past. Like I said, they're doing anything they can right now. Anything they can come up with, they're trying to do it, and they will use our history to try to keep us in the past, hoping to keep us unaware of what's happening and in the present and in the future and what's really going on all around us right now on this plane or this world internationally and in science news. It's a lot of significant things happening in science news as far as geomagnetic energies, the solar maximum, the truth about many things in science, like the significance of the photon light and how it's causing water to dissipate at faster rates with these rivers drying up and displacing it, and just all types of things, of that nature. So history is cool, but let's take a break from it And let's update ourselves on the present. And and what's happening right now, this multi-dimensional transformer that's gonna overload soon and release us from this light cold lockdown when this big EMP happens. Something we all need to be prepared for, and living in the past and just learning about all this history, it's not gonna help you prepare for the future. So something to be mindful about. Um, what else do I have here? Yes. Um, I've seen people talking about the stratosphere, the ionosphere is moving up and down, it's causing earthquakes, and they try to speak of it like it's geoengineering. While I am aware of much things they do in the stratosphere, mostly dispersing chemicals to to even go even further, filtering the light and trying to create a shield, because the atmospheres are a force field. They are a force field to fight this filter light at an even greater rate to try to prevent what's happening, right? That's why it's so many layers. When you got a force field, it's layers, or it's real thick. You know what I'm saying? In a sense where some might penetrate the outside of the force field and go that far and not get all the way through. So the atmospheres are like low frequency force fields from this energy that's coming from the sun that's also in these atmospheres. The sun is in our atmosphere, it's not far away. So, they create these atmospheres around the sun to try to stop it from what's happening. Um, really go to my TikTok and look at my videos about relative to the sun, because the sun moves up and down. In the winter, it's closer to the surface. That's why it moves wider. Because with us being in the dome, in the summer when it goes up, it has a smaller circumference to work with. So it's as it moves at a smaller circumference, you got daytime longer, and as it comes down, 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 because even for daylight savings time, the daylight it starts changing. That's because this one sun is really it's another sun. They like I said, nighttime is fake, and these other suns return, it won't be dark anymore. But and when this multi-dimensional transformer gets closer to the surface, projecting this light from the black sun, it has to move at a larger circumference, thus you got longer days. And these atmospheres, they work around the sun, kind of quote unquote moving with it. But as Nibiru's coming in and it's getting closer, these atmospheres get unstable. You know what I mean? And as the atmospheres get unstable, they exert energies on the surface that causes the tectonic plates. You know what I mean? They also become unstable. That's not geoengineering. That's a reaction from the forces of Nibiru's force field getting closer and closer to this plane, causing things to get unstable because you got a higher level of forces. See what I'm saying? Coming in, and then you got this boggling, and you also got this plane. The poles, like I said, the poles are reversing themselves back to normal. So as the poles are moving, you got a lot of displacement as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they would love to take credit for everything, but it's not them. These are natural phenomena that's happening based on, like I said, the forces from the Nibiru's force field. Um, Another thing to make note of, these nefarious attacks, as far as direct energy weapons, low frequencies that's exerted upon us, chemtrails, they actually empower us in the long run. There's adverse reactions for everything right now. That's why when they do the chemtrails, they make it cold. When we have a phenomena like a solar maximum approaching, you got these super warm days that come right after. That's an example of adverse reaction. Much like our melanin, because we have suns inside of us, our melanin, in the sense of an adverse reaction, empowers us as the melanin adapts to these attacks, preparing for future attacks. You see what I'm saying? Making us even stronger to be ready for these attacks. So, and they know this, but they have no choice. They have no choice right now. So, as they're exerting these low frequencies on us, it's causing our frequency to rise. Just like the weather reacts, our etherical bodies, by way of melanin, conducting this energy. The energy comes in from the adverse reaction to empower us more. If another one happens, our melanin takes in this energy and boost up our etheric bodies, transform us, our DEA as well. And like I said, it's all this stuff is a simultaneous event. The awakening, our DEA transforming, the energies coming in, all this stuff. Even the significant eclipses that bring in higher energies, they transform us more and more and more and more and more until a big EMP, like I'm saying, and I'm gonna explain more about that later. So you should never get down and upset because it's gonna happen. You might feel uncomfortable, but you have to remember at the same time, your melanin is upgrading you as these attacks continue to happen. So you're rising amidst all of this. You're rising. That's why it's good to be on the alkaline vegan diet, so that your melanin can work at its optimal and maximum levels. Therefore, being able to re-empower you for future attacks at an even greater rate, right? And I'm gonna get into a lot about herbs, waters, how to store your water, all that type of stuff. So I do have a video up here about how to make sea moss. I'm gonna do another one, but it's still just as good. It was just one of my first videos. Um, as well as the melanin upgrading us, it really upgrades our bioelectric and electromagnetic fields, preparing us more so. Like all of us have, we know, an electromagnetic field around our body, referred to as an aura or an auric field, or our bioelectric field. They're all pretty much one and the same. And this is what the melanin upgrades as these things happen to us. Um, I'm gonna do some more videos. I did want to mention before I did my video about herbs. If anybody had any suggestions or just something they wanted to know about a particular ailment or skin or hair or anything specific, leave it in the comments so I could jot it down. And when I get ready to make that video, I could have a list of things that's uh, more informative specifically to what one or two or three people may have requested. But besides all this, like I said, this was an elaboration um, relative to my last video I posted on TikTok, Divine, I believe it was Divine Updates, Encouragement, and Advice. So if you want to check that out, it's just because TikTok cuts you down in 10 minutes, you know what I mean, in the video. So I figured this is what I made YouTube for. So I could just, hey, let it out however I wanted to let it out without no time restrictions in my mind looking at that clock, you know what I mean? Trying to hurry up and say this, say that, and then trying to make a part two, a part two, and remember that. No, this one my YouTube for. No holds bars, no time limits. But like I said, my Moon vs. Sun complete synopsis will be coming soon. Indigenous, I don't like to use the word science, but indigenous sciences and truth about how this realm and this plane really works. You feel me? And there will be more videos to come. Um, like I said, let me know. I got a lot of knowledge up here, and I'm fortunate enough that I can go obtain knowledge. So besides all this, stay up, stay focused, stay fearless, stay dangerous. Empower yourself. Don't react. Don't be provoked. Meaning, don't react to malevolence with more malevolence. You know what I mean? Keep your head on, right? And don't exert that energy for it to come back to you. Because if somebody approaches you in a malevolent way and you don't reciprocate it, meaning you don't respond or react or be provoked in a malevolent way, it goes right back to him. You feel me? Right back to him. Versus you reacting malevolently, putting that energy back out in the universe, and more of it's gonna come back to you. Besides all that, y'all stay up. One love.